I'm Nikki Bon, and I'm a comedian and about to be a new mom. I always said, I'm going to wait till my career is taken off until I have a baby. And that hasn't happened yet, but the baby's coming very, very soon. I've never actually done a vlog before, so this feels a bit strange to me to just talk to my camera. But here's kind of how everything went down. I'm 38 years old. I didn't know I wanted kids until I was like 36. I was always anti-kids, which I think was just my fear of growing up because I didn't want to become an adult, because then eventually you die. When you become a parent, that means that you're closer to death. It's a whole thing. This is all very new to me, including doing a vlog, but also I just don't feel like I have the same mindset of a lot of the moms that I meet out there. And I'll be honest, I'm very, very scared. My whole life has been focused on my career, making it, making people laugh, working hard. My nights are occupied with doing stand-up or being out in the scene and networking and showing face. And then my daytime is writing material or working on my social media posts and editing.
There's this new diet. It's called the beet juice diet. BEETS. Do not do it. I make juice with the red beet juice. Drink it all day. And yesterday morning, I wake up and take my morning piss. I'm pissing red urine. It freaked me the f*** out.
And all I care about is myself, which is probably for the best that I'm about to care about something else. When I discovered that I was pregnant and I was trying, I got very scared. And now it's about to all happen. And I'm still pretty scared. I'm grateful, but I'm very scared. First of all, I'm so out of breath. It's so hard to do this. My back hurts. Now I understand why my grandma would have her pillow behind her back all the time. I can't get a good position. Anyways, I didn't feel like maturing. I didn't want to grow up. I've been with my husband, for 12 years, 13 now. And we met when we were so young. We never talked about kids. We're both very career-oriented people. He is a sound engineer. He goes on tour all the time, which I'm a little bit afraid of, because when the baby comes, he's going to go on tour again, and I will be a single mom. So this is part of the vlog, and we'll see what happens. And I started out with acting, and then I got into stand-up. And stand-up is like a full-time career. It's not like acting where you can take classes and you wait for the next gig. It's like you cannot stop when you do stand-up. You need to be out there. You need to be working. You need to be working on your craft. Finally, when I turned 35, that was the age that I realized, okay, I don't have much time left. Now, I know everybody says you can go to 42 and have kids, which is amazing. And I did have that perspective, but I was very anti-kids. To be honest, I'm not really a baby person. I'm not a kid person. I was a camp counselor for 12 years, but I was never somebody that was like, I love children. I want to play with them all the time. Or if a kid talks to me, I'm not like, oh, hello. So it wasn't on the forefront of my mind. But then I turned 36 and I thought about being 50 without a child, and it made me sad. And I realized I need to grow up and actually think about my ovaries that will dry up one day. But you know who doesn't think about their ovaries? Men. So when I approached my husband and I said, I do want a kid, he was like, I don't. But then he came around because I drugged him. No, I didn't drug him. I went to Sweden. Came around fair and square. So then I was like, okay, why don't I freeze my eggs? So I call up a fertility clinic. They give me a free consultation, which would have cost $500 to $1,000, but she gave me a free consultation. So the woman at the fertility clinic told me that'd be $3,000 to just test and see what kind of condition my eggs were in. But at the same time, she said that it didn't guarantee that those results would be correct. And I was like, I don't even have that much money, let alone the amount of money it would be to actually freeze embryos, store them, and then put them back in. I make minimum wage. I make $700 a month, and my husband is the one that brings in the money, but he still makes only 5 figures. So it's not something that we could afford. I was like, if we're about to spend $10,000 to $30,000 on freezing embryos, I need that for a baby. The thing that freaked me out the most was that when I said, no, we'll hold off, they kept calling and calling and calling to try and get me to make an appointment. And so then I really backed off because I was like, this is just a money grab. I don't trust you guys anymore. So we stopped, I paused, and then at 37, I was like, listen, let's just try. Let's just raw dog. I'll go like this and we'll see what happens. And for the first 6 months, nothing happened. I was hoping that I'd be like one of those stories where the universe just made it happen. It was an accident, you know? It was like roulette. I didn't want to take it seriously because that scared me even more. So finally, after 6 months, when it was happening, I got a little bit nervous. And then I started to do the fertility strips, which still wasn't working. And then I got scared and I was like, okay, there's something wrong with me. So I had an appointment with my doctor and then another fertility clinic to test me. But then after month 11, I got knocked up. A lot of people ask me like what happened, what I did to get pregnant. And honestly, I tracked the fertility, but the one day that we got pregnant, I jokingly did the thing where you put your legs in the air and let the cum drip into your insides. And then I got pregnant. So I don't know if that's something that works or if that was just a fluke. This is normally a joyous moment for like many, many women. And this is why I feel like an outcast and like I'm not normal. But when I saw the positive sign, I freaked out. I was alone at home. I had to be at work in half an hour and I had a weird feeling. I was one day late, but my mom's dog licked my stomach. I had also pulled an angel card, they're like tarot cards, a week before saying that I was pregnant. It said new life, birth, mother. And I sent it to my husband being like, for the record, I don't think I'm pregnant, but I pulled this card. So then I came home, I felt off. I just need to know if I'm pregnant. I can't go to work. I can't work the whole shift and wonder. So I peed on the stick. Seeing that positive sign was a relief, but it got trippier and trippier for me because the brighter it got, the more I couldn't control what was going on. I couldn't control what my body had produced. All of a sudden, my whole life flashed before my eyes. I turned into like a 19-year-old that got knocked up. I immediately was like, what did I do? There are no words to describe the feeling of seeing the positive cross on that stick when you are in a place where you can't afford or even imagine what it would be like to change your life for a baby. This isn't saying I'm not grateful. This isn't saying that I am regretting anything, but I feel like I was in such a rush of fear of like, am I fertile? That when I did that, it was like when a teenager takes their parents' car out without thinking and then they crash it and then they're like, oh my God, I didn't think it through. That's exactly how I felt. And I was like, I can't stay out late anymore. I can't have friends over. Everything is about to change. My career's over. How am I going to do everything? Like, I feel guilty because I didn't come out of the situation like giddy and crying and excited, and instead I turned into a teenage brat very selfishly. And I know that a lot of people have trouble getting pregnant and have struggled, and which makes me feel even more guilty. But I'm just going to be honest about how it felt. It's hard because when I really thought about it, I was like, oh, I'm not equipped for this. I live in an apartment that we rent. I can't pay for childcare, and I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom, and I can't even afford my own fucking healthcare. So anyways, I freaked out. And also to be alone, I called my husband crying. I told him, and he was like, well, isn't this what you wanted? Which it was, but it's like hard because I was the one that was like, baby, baby. And he was like, I don't know if we should bring a child into this world. I was like, don't be a pussy, you little bitch. And then now I'm pregnant and I'm the one freaking out and he has to comfort me. It was a very dark month of having to transition into the idea of being a mom. But then there's also this mind fuck because it's like, I don't want to lose the baby. I want the baby to stay. So then I have this fear with everything that I do. It was a lot and it was very lonely. I am grateful that it's stuck and that it's happening, but it's been a fucking journey. And as I go on, it keeps getting more and more uncomfortable. So I'm just going to keep documenting it and see what happens, because I have no idea how I'm going to continue to pursue my career and be a mom at the same time. To all the good moms out there, don't worry. I'm going to be a mom, number one, but I can't even imagine what's about to happen to my career.